All right, let's talk some news and notes.
News and notes from around the league.
All right, it is Tuesday, and we have a bunch of injury notes and various updates for you. So I'm going to kind of go through these quick because we have a lot, and you guys jump in, Mike, Jason, when you want to say something about what I'm talking about. Carlos Williams has a concussion, and they are indeed working out Trent Richardson. I do not believe that Richardson would get – I think he's more of an insurance policy.
Yes.
Boobie Dixon.
Yes.
Anthony Dixon and Sierra Wood would take the carries in a very kind of non-enthusiastic way.
Yep. There's a possibility that Williams can still be cleared, but concussions are all over the place, so we don't know.
Are we counting McCoy out?
Yes. I am.
You both are?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a report last week that seemed very legitimate, saying that it could be 3 or 4 weeks, and then right after that he was officially ruled out. So it seemed to carry weight for my little heart.
If
you the
I have a
Grinch?
little, yes, it's undersized.
A teeny little, I'm a mean-spirited man.
Sammy Watkins' calf injury is not considered a long-term concern. That doesn't mean he'll play this week, but it does mean that he'll likely be back soon. There's a report saying Des Bryant could be back after the Week 6 bye that's coming out of Dallas camp.
Personally, I think that's ridiculous, but maybe.
I may have made an offer or two for him today.
With news like that, I don't blame you.
Eric Ebron was hurt last night.
It
which
didn't
is
look good.
unfortunate. No, I was worried immediately about a fibula fracture type of injury. He had the side of his leg impacted, although they did come out and say knee, didn't they?
I do not recall.
Yeah, it didn't look great. It's disappointing. They already have Pettigrew on the shelf, but if Ebron loses some time, you might have to pay attention to Pettigrew again someday. Brashad Perryman, a report came out that he did not suffer a new injury as had been previously reported.
He doesn't need new injuries.
He's got the old ones.
Yeah.
Do you think never mind. I'm not going to go there with Brashad today. The Indianapolis Star says that Andrew Luck should play on Thursday night, so if you have Luck and you're wanting to start him, I think missing last week was, right now it's proving to be a great decision for the team because he got to rest the arm, no risk of re-injury. The report had said he had a mildly separated shoulder. That's kind of what he's dealing with. And now he can come out on Thursday night against the Texans. So we'll see if the Texans defense shows up eventually this year. I'm waiting. I've been sitting there with bated breath.
Someday.
Lance Dunbar did indeed suffer a torn ACL in the Week 4 loss to the Saints. He will miss the remainder of the season. What do we expect to see on third down in Dallas?
For now, unless they add somebody, I think it's Joseph Randle taking the third down. We did not give a Kristen Michael watch an update.
Is there people? Just you, right?
No, there is at least 3 people on Twitter asking for Kristen Michael.
Okay, what's the update, Mike?
We saw him in the game. We saw him get a snap. We did it.
How did he do?
How'd he do?
We did it, everybody. I believe he was 1 for -1.
That was it? They only gave him -1 for that? That looked like a -4 to me. But
that's how good he is. It was a -4, but he turned it into a -1.
He leaned forward 3.
Well,
but there's so Randall, I think, will get some more third downs. There was, for the truthers out there, there was a blurb that's saying that they're going to have to get Michael more involved, which seems like a no-brainer.
It's true. Stephen Jones expects Michael to step up and play a role.
Yeah, 1 carry for
redraft leagues. That's big time. All right. Gary Kubiak says that Ronnie Hillman deserves more touches. Let's talk briefly about the C.J. Anderson situation. Who would you rather have rest of season right now?
I would rather have C.J. Anderson because I think he's going to get the ball first. I guess in truth, I would rather have Justin Forsett or someone that you can get for C.J.
I don't think you can get Justin Forsett.
No.
For
How
CJ.
about Danny Woodhead?
Nope.
Yes, I'd rather have Danny Woodhead.
So would I, but
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying.
I don't think you can go get him
No,
anymore.
that's all we were saying.
Yeah.
But I'm with Jason. I'd still rather have C.J. Anderson. Ronnie Hillman had the huge run, which those count. But besides that, he was not great. And Anderson is still the passing guy.
That's what you mentioned yesterday, that he still is in there to protect Peyton Manning, which means he's on the field. He'll have some opportunities. So, disappointing season for C.J. Anderson, especially where a lot of experts had him on the board. We were talking yesterday, some had him as high as number 1, and he just has not come out and performed this season at all. And I think at a minimum you have a timeshare here, and if Ronnie Hillman can break a 70-yard run, I might roll him out there more often than not because of the potential. So, and he catches the ball a little bit. All right, Jordan Reed has done what he always does. Unfortunately, I feel bad for him, to be honest, because he's such a talented player. However, he decided to double injure himself this past week with a concussion and an MCL sprain. Is that correct?
That is correct.
No timetable on the return of Jordan Reed and nobody behind him.
Yeah.
Trent Richardson is working out for the Washington Redskin tight end position. That is not true. The Texans are sticking with Ryan Mallett at quarterback, which we'll get to see on prime time.
Congratulations.
I'm just throwing this out there. I thought for at least 30 seconds about making him my stream of the week.
Oh.
Hey, how'd Blake?
I don't blame you.
Blake Bortles did fantastic last week against the Colts' messed up secondary. So
Well-
I did not make him, but I'm just saying.
Greg Toller, the second DB for the Colts, is supposed to be back.
Oh,
this
is
week.
he?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then glad I didn't make Ryan Mallett my
And
stream of the week.
a small handcuff-related note, Nile Davis falling behind Char West in Kansas City. So at a minimum, if you're just holding on to Davis, this is one of the situations where you just stop holding a handcuff. I mean, if I'm a Charles owner, I just don't even worry about it. It's kind of the way I was with Jonathan Stewart anymore. I know that Artis Payne's not going to necessarily get it. Whitaker's not going to get it in Carolina. So
Yeah, why Nile Davis was so great is because if Charles was not in, then Nile got a huge workload. He just became the guy. But it sounds like if Charles were to go down, it would just be a muddy split. So he's not worth it.
And a note for everybody with your rosters, make sure you're not playing any Carolina Panthers, Miami Dolphins, Minnesota Vikings, or New York Jets this week. Because
Correct.
you will get 0 points because they're on bye. Also, don't play injured players. They don't count for any points either. All right, looking at the game last night, what stuck out to you from the Lions-Seahawks game? At this point, I'm just going to come out and say it. Not that I was ever, I might have been grabbing onto the caboose every once in a while, but I'm done with Ameer Abdulah. I'm not going to rely on him as
Jumped off the train.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's a dangerous thing to jump off a train.
I think as close as I ever got was I was holding on and it was pulling me along. You guys were pulling me along.
Were you on a skateboard holding onto the back of the train?
You know who Abdullah is? He's
Ameer
CJ
Abdullah?
Spiller right now.
Yeah.
With Buffalo in years past, where you keep buying into the speed and the big play, and he will have a big play this year. But right now, I mean, even in a game without Joique Bell, where Zach Zinner got 1 carry, he was on the field. They gave him 53% of the snaps compared to Riddick. Riddick had about 38% of the snaps. But from an efficiency standpoint, they were identical efficiency.
But let me ask you, did you actually expect Abdullah to do good things against the Seattle run D in Seattle? I mean, is that a fair time to jump off the Express?
Well, I mean, he has to perform on a consistent basis to ever get on.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, expectations or not, I mean,
well, I mean, I think the train is running right now at about a solid 30 miles an hour. It's not a fast.
All I'm saying is
jog.
I'm in a position where I'm no longer putting him out there. I'm in a prove it to me before I put you out there mentality. It doesn't mean he can't do it later this season. Just means that I'm going to watch him do it from my bench first. I'm going to put a better option in the game.
He does play the Cardinals this week. Not a good matchup. So
yeah. Calvin Johnson owners, what are your thoughts on Calvin Johnson right now? Is he a top 10 wide receiver rest of the season?
Yes, and I think he's a decent purchase option. Every opinion on Calvin would have changed if a 2-inch fumble, was not punched out or punched out 2 inches later. We'd be like, oh, he had a decent game. There were also a couple throws that were, they looked for him longer, which we hadn't seen them doing this year. He looks a little slower, a little less like he's going to break things off to me. So I'm not madly in love with him.
He did get separation down the sideline that Stafford missed him. But I agree with you. I saw him struggle to get off a press a couple times. And, Seattle's a tough matchup.
Yeah, exactly.